Harris. Bam, we're live. Be honest. What's up? You think I look like a dyke? By dyke, I don't mean one of those things that holds back water.
No.
Do you not like it?
I think you are amongst the people in my life I've met who can pull off the most variety of looks.
Look at that.
I see it. Oh, I see it.
Caleb, he's holding back.
No, is he?
He's holding back. Okay. Listen, I'm here with Brian Friend. I'm here with my new haircut, newish. I mean, it's evolved. I got a pair of clippers. I'm just slowly just whittling away at this thing. Ken, good to see you too, buddy. Ken Walters. Okay. Shirtless Ken. Barry's here to see Brian, of course. What is this thing? What is this? Oh, I've seen that before. Barrett KC43. I smell weed. Not here. Oh, so a skunk got hit in front of my house today, and my whole yard has smelled like weed all day. Greg C. Caring about useless sports just to listen to Sevan and Brian banter. Smart enough. Please just don't touch yourself. What's that called? Don't pleasure yourself to the deep, fine baritones of Brian Friend. Barry McCockner. Hello, Sarah. Oh, where's Sarah? Oh, Sarah Cooper. There she is. Okay. Mooney always deserves. Oh, we used to see your face. You had a round face. Now we see your ass. Finally able to catch a live. Been on vacation, and it's Frisbee show. Okay, here we go. Olivia, hi. The burpee dude. I still love you. Okay, good.
Some new people here.
And we got someone, one of our regular hostiles. Bam, I'm here for a while before pickleball. I knew. I just knew it was going to be hostile from him. How much to see Sevan toss a Frisbee now? Where would I toss it? I'll toss. I'll go. Well, did I tell you what happened? I told you what happened, Brian, right? My neighbor
should do the whole show with that profile view. Let's look to the side again. It says a little more. I want to see the bottom of your hair. Oh yeah, that's just great.
Is that a mullet?
Look, it's kind of a mullet. It's getting weird. It's weird. I fucked with it today. I got yelled at today by my wife. My wife almost never yells at me because we have a guest bathroom and I shaved my head. Like we have a main house bathroom that anyone uses, and then we have the kids' bathroom and my bathroom. And I cut my hair for the second time in the main house bathroom. She's like, "Don't do that. No one wants to see your gross hair around." And I got just drilled. I should do I'm more mullet than man bun. But okay. Listen, so I'm pretty excited that we're doing this show. This is the 4th of 15 stop. Oh shit, when I go like that, you can see it. This is the 4th of 15 stops that the do they have an acronym for
the Disc Golf Pro Tour, DGPT.
DGPT. Disc Golf Pro Tour. This is the 4th of 15 stops that they're doing this year, and I thought we were going to miss it. And Brian had a busy week, and then there was a week off, and then the 5th tour happened today. The 5th stop happened today, and so I thought we were just going to skip the 4th, but no. We don't skip anything with Brian around. We are very thorough. So we're going back. This is from 2 weeks ago. This is we're going to go over the event that had the greatest Frisbee golfers in the world in attendance, except for the greatest. I didn't see the greatest there. Was he there?
Who is that? Paul McBeth?
Oh, yes. Funny you should say that. Yes, Paul McBeth. Was Paul McBeth there?
I would say, well, Paul McBeth was there, yes.
Oh, shit. So he wasn't in the lead card or the chase card?
He finished tied for 25th. And I would say that currently he is not the best player in the world right now. And not even probably in the top 5.
Okay, so two things you should know that I've learned from Brian already from the first 4 shows we've done. Paul McBeth, 6-time world champion, considered by many to be the best ever who did the game. That being said, this game is evolving at a crazy high speed still. And so you never know. I mean, it's like CrossFit, really. A guy could come in next year and be the best Frisbee golfer who ever lived. I mean, it's like that.
Yeah, I mean right at this moment, I think that Gannon Buhr, who's 18 years old, is the highest rated player in the world. And there are a lot of players that are 16 through 20 years old that are becoming more and more relevant at the highest level of the sport. and it's it's similar to the females in CrossFit, where there's just this young generation that's coming up, and they are extremely relevant, not just in local competitions, but at the best competitions in the world.
No hair gel, Barry. No, there's no hair gel in here. This is just a thick, dirty hair pulled back into a man bun. I said it. Did Happy Gilmore make the cut? They do got a guy. They got a guy. Caleb played the clip once who wants to go toe to toe. They do got a guy. I really wish this guy would make it in the chase card or the lead card every week. I'm a huge fan. He stepped up to a ref once, and it was just ridiculous how he did it. He stepped up into this ref's face and yelled at him, and then told the ref to walk away. I mean, it was like sitcom shit, right?
Yeah, and it's in character for him, but for anyone else, it's like, what?
Jeremy Garcia, what are you fiddling there? Is that a broken egg, or are you petting a cat? I can't tell what that is. These disc shows are like if in college Sevan is trying to take a girl home from the bar. Oh shit, that's not good.
Wildly successful?
No. Clumsy, drunk, stupid, and smelly. Sevan looks 10 years younger. Wait till I trim my shit up. Extra sloppy, Brian. Tell us about your new venture real quick. Fine, let's do it. There is a new website called brianfriendcrossfit.com.
No.
Oh.
The website's not launched yet. You can go to the Instagram. It's Be Friendly Fitness. And I think we'll have more time to talk about it. But
are there any dots or underscores or anything, or is it just Be Friendly Fitness?
I think it's that.
The Instagram, okay.
Yeah, it's just Be Friendly Fitness. I'm pretty sure the website is befriendlyfitness.com. We actually have a meeting tomorrow with the designer, and I'm going to get a first look at the website, and then it's going to launch on May 1st.
Oh, that's cool. Congratulations. That's fun. Oh, that looks good. Okay. I really like it. Oh, good. No underscores or dots or anything stupid like that. That's good. All right. Oh, I'm going to follow that right now. Be Friendly. Don't feel obligated, Caleb, to follow it. Oh, Caleb, I just told you don't feel obligated.
It's not my account, so.
Oh, awesome. Hey, listen, something you should also know. Be Friendly. Okay.
I'll say this. There are a lot of nuances to what we'll be doing, but the primary motive behind this is to have one place where you can get my content in a hopefully a very easy to access manner.
But not as you won't get any of his great podcasts unless you come here. You can watch Brian practice doing podcast with other people, but if you want to watch his best shit, it will always be here in the
Well, I mean, there will be a section that on the website that references all my past work, and it will, so if you want to see any of the stuff that I did while I was at Morning Chalk Up or Barbend or South China Morning Post or a couple articles I've written with Barbell Spin, there'll also be some stuff that links to podcasts that I've done in the past, both personal and professional, and obviously Sevan Podcast. There's a ton, and it'll be at the top of the list, and there will also be a section of the website that's for disc golf, where and it'll direct to the archive of all of our disc golf shows, and eventually have some content about disc golf as well.
Mooney, I have been through this Sevan losing Brian thing so many fucking times. I'm just I'm being tested by the Buddha. All things must change. Does Sevan own exclusive rights to Brian via podcast content? I'm gonna tell you the truth about that. We made a deal that he would during the weeks of competition, he would only do my podcast, and then when I brought it up to him later, he said he forgot. He doesn't remember. So it's my word against it. So no, I don't have any fucking exclusivity. He thinks what I pay him is like a donation. It's a tumultuous. You guys should start a Reddit thread. It's a tumultuous relationship. The hostilities between Mr. Friend and I. Yeah, and I am going to do that. When is the Sevan network starting? Yeah, right, exactly. As soon as Don Lemon gets fired and I can hire Don Lemon, we're on. I know, of course, we're fucking amazing as a team. Me and Brian are like a straight guy and a straight girl coming together. It's rare these days. Special powers. We can make babies. This is an incredible thing. Brian, when Brian introduced me to Frisbee golf just 4 shows ago, to the the professional Frisbee golf, one of the things he said is that pretty much the lead card is the card to watch. Do you want to talk about that and how things have gotten a little squirrely this year, Brian?
Yeah, I mean it's been the most competitive start to a season that we've ever had, or that they have ever had, because there are in nearly every tournament this year there have been half a dozen to a dozen players within 2 strokes of the lead coming into the final day. That means that you have 2 to 3 cards worth of players, and usually, I mean, it's pretty difficult to follow 12 players around the course, and there's 2 post production companies at almost all these competitions, and they're following either the lead card or the chase card. And so you can watch those after the fact if you don't have access to the live disc golf network. But if the winner comes off of the 3rd card, I mean, there could be a situation that arises where we don't even have the footage of the eventual winner of the tournament. And I think that is a reality that, the organizers of competitions and the purveyors of how people can digest this content need to think about, because there have been several winners already this year from the chase card, like a record-setting number. And some threats from that 3rd card as well. In fact, in one tournament, there was a guy from the 5th card that was threatening to win for like 75% of the last round.
Who was that from the 5th card?
His name is Austin Turner. He's playing. He's playing as the best lefty right now on the tour. And
we feature Austin a bit in this show today.
Okay, excellent.
And so just so you guys, just to define a couple things for you, the cards are groups of 4. The players play in groups of 4, and then so the camera follows groups of 4 guys, and the lead card is the best 4 players who are currently in the lead, and the chase card are the 4 players who are in 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. What Brian is but there's how many guys entered this tournament? 100?
Yeah, it's usually, I mean, it can be as much as 160. This one was, there were 111 players at the start of play.
Question here, Nick Schroeder, why don't they reseed? I think they do after every 18, right?
Yeah, so there are
or is it every 9?
After every round, every 18. So okay. The first day you get assigned a tee time, and there are 2 featured cards, and usually it's like the past champion, maybe like whatever. There's different criteria for the top lead card, and then they just select 4 players that are, well known or pretty good or playing hot or whatever to be on the other one. So it's kind of random on day 1, but on day 2, the top 4 players from the previous day they have the last tee time, and the worst 4 players tee off early in the morning, and everyone in between falls in line.
And so basically, the reason why this is happening is so many people are getting the same scores. So it doesn't even matter at which point you're reseeding them. You're going into the last 18 baskets, and there's 10 guys who are minus 20 or minus 15, minus 17. Mm-hmm. So that there's a problem, right?
I mean, I'd say it's a good problem.
Yeah, it's a great problem.
The competition is very legitimate. There are a ton of players that you feel like can definitely win, and there's also even of the players that you think about that could win prior to the tournament, it seems like every tournament there's 1 or 2 guys that you weren't thinking had a chance to win that just have an incredible weekend, and they're right there in the mix.
Mike Litteris just got here. Glad to see Brian's live. What are you talking about? Brian's been with you for a week, Mike Litteris. Okay. Howie Do It. There's a golf network. Where was I when all this happened? Now, I before Brian answers this, I'm going to guess that they use the term golf network very loosely. That this is like this isn't a real network. Oh.
It's called the Disc Golf Network. Mm-hmm. It's basically an app. But
they don't have a station on DirecTV like 1074 isn't the Disc Golf Network.
No, you have to pay. You have to pay for a subscription to it. But
it's on an app. It's not. They don't have a cable channel.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think it costs $50 for the year, something like that. What is that? $12.99 for what? To subscribe? That can't be right.
A month.
Oh, $129 annual, $12.99 a month. Yeah. It's actually gone up.
And you've subscribed,
gone up in price.
Right?
I am subscribed to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can watch all of the Disc Golf Pro Tour stops and most of the major championship stops and the Silver Tour Series stops on the Disc Golf Network. They also produce some documentaries featuring certain players or telling some stories about disc golf's history or whatever. So they're trying to build up some other things that make available to their members, the people who subscribe. Occasionally, they also have free streaming. The Disc Golf Network will stream one of the rounds, usually the first round, free on YouTube. So you could, like, if you go to watch the men's lead, the men's final round, it's like 3 or 4 hours long, depending on the course. That 3 or 4 hour on Friday, the first day, is free on YouTube as well. So you can there's like a way for you to see what you'd be getting if you paid for it, and then if you want to pay for it to watch it live over the weekend, you can.
Listen, Nick. Listen. You quit. We're not going to solve their media problems on this show. This you stop. You've reached your limit of questions, and now you can only make jokes. Okay. Okay. Extra sloppy. This isn't nice, but we might as well let it fly. Extra sloppy. Probably like Morning Chalk Up is for CrossFit, like the most legitimate media in the space. He's Brian. Do you want to? Do you have a response to that? Is the Golf Network like what the Morning Chalk Up?
I don't see the parallel.
Okay, good. I do, but since Brian doesn't, I won't say anything. Caleb has a state. No, he's in outer space.
Oregon.
Okay. Oh, you're in Oregon?
No.
Oh. Okay. Oh, there we go. I once saw. There you go. Now you're back on track. I once saw hippopotamus in the window. Okay. Final. We're gonna start on the final round, which means that all the players have played 18 baskets. They played 18 baskets one day, then they played 18 baskets the next day. This is the final 18. We're going to start with the chase card. These are the players who are number 5, 6, 7, 8. The tournament is the 4th of 15 on the Disc Golf Pro Tour for 2023. It takes place in Nashville, Tennessee, and it's called the Music City Pro
Open. Music City Open. Yeah.
But we'll probably change the name to Pro. And by the way, Disc Golf Network, you guys should probably just give me, even though I won't ever watch it, you should give me a free subscription and like some shit. Okay. You want to say anything about it before we dive into hole one?
It has not always been a Pro Tour stop. It's usually been a Silver Series event, so it's elevated this year. They've made some changes to the course. And just as a frame of reference, there's one player that has dominated this competition. And
can I tell you who?
Yeah.
It's Dickerson. Chris Dickerson?
Yeah, Chris Dickerson is the best player in the history of the state of Tennessee. He's one of the top 5 rated players in the world. He's a threat at almost every event he shows up to, but he's like definitely the favorite at this event. I think he's won it 4 times, and he's been in the top 5 every time that it's ever been played.
What's the deal with that? You think he lives like within 5 miles of that course and just plays it like no other?
It's kind of weird. He's incredibly good, but his record in the state of Tennessee is just like insane. Like for whatever reason, he just plays courses there extremely well.
And is that because these are his home courses?
So, in some cases, definitely, but I think it's just like, it's almost one of these things you can't explain, where for whatever reason, he just elevates when he plays in his home state.
Who's the Disc Golf Pro Tour? By the way it works, it's a point system, so they're keeping track of like what place you finish and your wins. And going into this, is Heimberg in first place?
Yeah, Calvin Heimberg's been having the best season of anyone so far, and I think, even though I said at this exact moment, I believe Gannon Burr's the number 1 rated player in the world, Heimberg is by far the points leader.
Okay, how can that be? How could Gannon, just based on last year?
No, it's based on like your rating per round. They're really close. They might be within 1 rating point of each other or something like that. But it might just be that Calvin's had maybe he's had a couple lower rounds, but also a couple higher rounds, and Gannon's had more consistently right around there. I'm not entirely sure.
But you'd rather be in Heimberg's spot than Gannon's spot. You'd rather be the winning.
I think, yeah. At this point in the season, Calvin has finished in the top 3 of every tournament, and he's matched Paul Macbeth's record of the most consecutive podium finishes ever in the existence of the Disc Golf Pro Tour.
What's the most tournaments anyone's ever won in a season?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Okay, because Heimberg's got 2. That's got to be, he must be on good pace.
Yeah,
Two of
definitely.
three. Okay.
I mean, it's it's for most players, if you win one tournament in the year, it's like incredible. It like makes your year.
Chase card sounds like Heimberg is winning the event as they go into hole number 1 in the final round. He's at -12. He's playing on the card with Simon Lizotte, who you guys have seen before on the show. I believe we've had Austin Turner maybe on in the past, maybe not. And then finally, a guy I'd never heard of, Ricky Wasaki, who is a victim of Lyme disease and trying to get his shit back together as we go into hole 1.
Ricky Wysocki, and you should learn, what Ricky Wysocki is.
Not Japanese.
He is possible. I mean, other than Paul McBeth, he is definitely the best player of the last decade, for sure.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Of the 4 world championships that Paul has not won in the last 10 years, 2 of them have been won by Ricky, and Ricky's finished second in several others. And I think it was 2015 that they went into like a 10-hole playoff in the world championships against each other. Just something insane. The guy was the tour champion last year, and he won several tournaments last year. He was the highest rated player last year. And this is post Lyme disease. He had Lyme disease.
He was the tour champion last year?
He beat out Paul McBeth on the tour points by 1 shot. He made a 60-foot putt on the last tournament of the year on the last hole to take the tour championship points away from Paul McBeth. Yeah.
Wow.
And then he talked about it, and he said, yeah, I mean, look, like the world champion is a great accolade to have. That just means you were the best for one weekend. But the tour champion is the guy who was the best player in the world and was the best for the entire season. So he's like, trying to sell himself in that regard.
Yeah. I buy that. I'm down with that.
I mean, yeah, that's true. But that would be like me saying to you in a scenario where Tia's won the game 6 years in a row, but she keeps losing at Rogue, that she's not the fittest woman on earth.
Oh, no, but you're not saying he didn't win the whole DGPT for 2022?
He did. He had the most points over the entire course of the year, but some of that comes down to how often you play, because you can't earn points if you don't play. So look, and coming into this year, he had an injury that we didn't know how serious it was going to be. It's been pretty bad, where he's missed most of the tournaments. What?
I just invited him on the podcast. Okay, go on.
Awesome. If he comes on the podcast, he'll tell you all about his hot cold therapy. He's obsessed with it.
Oh, because of the Lyme disease?
I mean, he takes a lot of pride and investment in his health, and that's something that he's come across recently that he thinks gives him a competitive edge.
This is kind of a weird thing to say, but I wonder if Lyme disease is pretty common. Ticks are pretty common for that sport, because those dudes I
haven't really heard of too many other players that have it. But
Howie DeWitt, best player in the last decade. I'm seriously shook. I feel like I just woke up from a coma and missed the last 10 years. Okay.
Okay. Anyway, the point is, when Ricky Wysocki is playing at his best, he is a contender to win every single tournament he shows up to.
Okay, good. Well, this is the
first
time I've seen him
this year that he's been in contention.
Okay. 605, Calvin Heimberg, player we've focused on in the previous 3 weeks. Hole 1 at the Music City Open.
Yeah, and this is it. This is the shot you want?
605, hole 1.
Okay.
Oh, you want to see him off the tee? We can audible.
No, this is totally fine. Whatever you have is good.
Okay.
This hole 1 is a pretty tough hole. There were not a lot of birdies on this hole. There were a lot of bogeys. It's a pretty tough shot. Tee shot, really demanding second shot, and the green is obstructed, as you see, with a lot of trees.
This is the first time I feel like I've let Brian down. Like, he's like, really, we're starting here? I apologize. Horrible. What happened there? What can we see that one more time? Did he make that? Maybe we need audio with that, Caleb. That one's hard to see.
Stuff like, I don't know what he's doing to envision the landing spot.
No, he didn't make it, right?
That's what you picked.
I think it hit some branches. It landed short.
Oh, great choice, Sevan. 615, Austin. Austin, what's Austin's name?
Austin Turner.
Yes, Austin Turner. Austin Turner from 25.
That's more than 25.
Oh.
Lefty.
Oh, we got a lot of stuttering today. Caleb, did you pay your internet?
I don't know. That's the wife.
You're good answer. Did he make that? Shit, I don't even know. My goodness.
No,
really
he would have continued towards the basket if he made it. So
okay, good answer. Okay, 705 Calvin for par.
yeah, so Calvin's upshot came up close. Came up short. In for par.
And 720 Austin Turner. This is from 2 weeks ago, by the way. I watched this. Sorry, it's going to take me a second to warm up. Not too many seconds, probably like 10 or 15. Austin Turner. And who's the sponsor there? This Pulse.
Pulse A? I don't really know.
Pulse.
But I did see. But I'm just looking
at
the bottom.
They should drop that L.
Yeah. Simon got a birdie on that hole, and like I said, it's a pretty tough hole to birdie. So par is much more common score there.
Hole 2, Simon minus 13, and has taken the lead after that hole. When we went into the final round, Heimberg was in the lead, and now Simon's in the lead at minus 13. 855, Ricky Wasaki off the tee.
Yeah, so here's Ricky, and I've told you in the past that Paul Macbeth had gotten a sponsorship, a 10-year, $10 million sponsorship with Discraft, and at that time, Ricky was playing with Innova as his title sponsor, and then Latitude 64 made him this offer, 4-year, $4 million. So he switched disc companies a couple years ago. And he and also the best female player in the world both play for that disc company now.
Oh, wow. And that best female player in the world is the one we saw with the putting problem?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Hey, this is a really bad stutter. We haven't seen a single throw get off here. I wonder what's going on. Maybe you could lower the picture quality, Caleb, and maybe see from HD to ass, from good to ass. Let's see. Yeah, maybe go down to 720. Let's see what we get. Alrighty. So did Ricky go out of bounds there?
It looks like it, yeah.
Yeah.
And this is the second hole is just as hard as the first hole to birdie. You have to have a really well placed tee shot, and then the second shot into the green is ridiculously hard with a tight and missing left like that is less than optimal because not only are you out of bounds and taking a penalty shot, but the recovery from there is very difficult.
923 Heimberg also off the tee. No, not off the tee.
So this is a great landing zone. This is the one spot where if you land it, that you have a straight shot to that basket. But even so, it just gets tighter and tighter as you go, and there's OB on both sides.
Out of bounds.
Mm-hmm.
Is that better?
No. God, I don't know. I don't ever remember it seeing this bad. Does it look bad to you too, Brian? Is it stuttering pretty bad to you? Like
yes.
It's not even video. It's like you just showed us a montage of like 6 photos.
Yeah.
Okay.
But maybe who knows? Maybe.
But I think that's his disc there on the ground, and that was an exceptional shot.
Look at you're going 360, huh? Look at you. 1017 Austin going for his second shot from the knees. No, not from the knees.
This is going to be his third shot, I think.
With the Guardians. God, I hope he didn't make that. What is going on?
It's bordering on unwatchable.
Yeah.
Let me cut out and I'll try it again.
Okay. There we go. Pornhub. Close Pornhub, Caleb. Fair enough, Trina. Fair enough. Michael C. Brian, what's up, brother? I was starting to wonder why your ban from YouTube was longer than Sevan's. Fair. Good, great question. Would you like to say something, Brian?
No.
Okay. Howie DeWitt, that course looks sketch. Can you say grassy knoll? Guaranteed someone has been killed on that course. This course does have a lot of possibilities for hole-in-ones, though, correct?
There are definitely some, yeah. And towards the end of the round, there's a hole that if anyone had made a hole-in-one on it during the tournament, they would have won a Gibson guitar. There's like a nice prize on the line, and there's a lot of people that came close, but no one got it.
Is Beaver using AOL dial-up? Fair question. Ken Walters, did Brian say $10 million sponsorship? Does anyone in CrossFit even have one close to that?
I've talked about this before, is the interesting comparison between disc golf and CrossFit in terms of the sponsorship, so that the disc golf ones are known. They're like those are public. When Paul Macbeth got offered $10 million for 10 years from Discraft, everyone knew about it. And it redefined, the kind of earning potential in the sport. And Ricky got an offer basically on the back of that offer, and several other players. Everyone has to kind of rise to the level of that. I do think that there might be some CrossFitters that have had, contracts that are extremely lucrative, and then, in the realm of $1 million annual, but we don't ever know about them.
I think there may have been one that I know of that was a 10-year contract, and it may have been $10 million, but I don't know that for sure. But I wouldn't be surprised. I want to say that I think I heard that. I do want to also say this: these people are selling these discs hand over fist. There's I don't know how many courses there are in the United States. Do you know how many courses there are, Brian?
Thousands.
Okay, so thousands of courses, and it's like bass fishing. It's like fishing. Those companies have so much money for sponsorship that they can have TV shows on ESPN that play from midnight till 8:30 in the morning, and they can buy, because they're just selling so many lures and fishing poles and just all that stuff. So it just goes to show you how many people are going on Amazon and just buying shitloads of discs. Oh, I like the way this looks already. Here we go. Oh, Caleb with the fix. Excellent work, Caleb. Extra sloppy for Brian. $1.99. Really? Mary fuck kill Discraft and Nova Sevan. You scumbag. If someone kills me over those discs, I'm gonna be pissed. It's interesting to me. Does Discraft have a bit? It's interesting to me that those two brands also aren't brands that I know.
Does Sevan have the man bun for this scenario?
Yeah, good question. Yeah.
Because if he does, slot him into the F.
Brian, do a prem show with Sevan. What's prem?
I think he's talking about the Premier League, the English Premier League, but I'm not 100% sure.
Is that soccer?
Yeah,
I'll cover soccer with you guys.
You like soccer, Caleb?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be fuck? Caleb's like, I like soccer, and then Caleb's been on every show, and then we start soccer, and we don't include him, and he's stuck on frisbee golf. Holy shit. Okay, where are we? 10:17. Let's go. We're on hole 2. We're with Austin Turner, and here we go. It would be just an incredible shot. Has he got the putter out for this?
I think so. Yeah, this is probably gonna be a pretty long jump putt. He's probably just trying to put this close.
Action. Let's see what Oh, dang, Caleb, you fixed it. Well done. Okay.
I mean, it's a really fast green. That's a pretty good putt, but he's still got a little work left.
Not 10:29. Simon Lizotte, the current leader, and after he shoots this, you can hang tight for a replay, Mr. Beaver. Putting from what, 60?
At least. I mean,
and
the fact that he went birdie on holes 1 and 2. I mean, I had checked that day. I'll check it again here. That I don't think anyone else. Oh, one other person did that day.
Birdied that hole.
Birdied both holes 1 and 2, and the player who did it was tied for 87th on the tournament. So, of the other players in the top, they were par birdie, par birdie, bogey par, birdie par. Like, you just don't birdie holes 1 and 2. So that putt was insane.
Simon Lizotte looking good. Hole 3. It's a very short, 277 feet, par 3. Although the hole averages over par, which is crazy, right? A 277-foot hole, par 3, but most people go over par on it. Kind of crazy. Austin, 1220, off the tee. Oh, my goodness, that's tight.
Yeah. So this is the most controversial hole in the tournament. And the design, I mean, that's one of the better shots you're going to see on the hole. The person who designed this hole specifically said, I want to force the players to throw a fast speed disc over a short distance. 277 feet, they could throw their putter and get there, but not the way that this hole is shaped up. You need a disc that's going to cut hard to the right and then hard back to the left. And even if you do it what you think is perfectly, it might not get through it. And those trees right in the middle there, those like group of 3 or 4 or 5 trees in the middle, are the problem. Yeah, the back ones.
Do you like this hole, Brian? Do you like what the course is forcing people to do?
I don't mind it. I mean, I think if you had 6 holes like this, it'd be annoying. But to have one hole like this on the course is okay. And I kind of like that it's early in the round, as opposed to being late in the round, since it's so random. And you remember that other course we played where hole 17 was like this? It was so like the first shot was like this little pitch shot. We saw Paul Macbeth try to go over the top around the outside. That's not even a line. And that was hole 17. So this at least gives people a chance because people will get bad scores on this. And I mean like 6, 7, 8s on this hole. And this will at least give people a chance to, recover from that a little bit.
Are you saying, to simplify it, are you saying that they're forcing you to use a disc that you generally would try to throw 500 feet, and they're making you use it in an area that's 277 feet?
Exactly.
Something like that?
Exactly.
Okay. Very interesting. Okay. 12. We saw Austin's tee drive. Fantastic shot, according to Brian. Got right close to the basket. He looks like he's even up for a birdie. 13:05. Ricky Wasaki goes for the putt for bogey. Ooh, no, maybe that wasn't for bogey. Maybe that was for par, and because of that, he got bogey.
Yeah. I know that he struggled with putting on this hole. But
what do you think about where he paused it right there? Look at how he's walking away. What do you think about that? That doesn't look right.
He's moving left, straight and right at the same time.
Caleb, don't do that to him again. Hole 4, 1,112 feet, par 5. Simon Lizotte, our leader.
And there are a couple really long holes on this course, but they demand very specific landing zones. And if you get out of position, then you have to make a decision. If like this, most of the players are coming to this hole and they're like, okay, it's par 5. I can take birdie. But if you don't put the drive in the right spot, then you just might have to accept the par. But for the best players in the world, it's hard to do that sometimes.
I don't think I still have seen an eagle.
Oh,
in
we've
the entire,
seen some eagles.
We have?
I'm sure we have.
I don't think I've seen an eagle yet. Okay, 18:05. This looks like Simon shot. What shot is this? 2?
It's probably his third shot here.
Third shot. Okay.
So he's in a pretty good position after 2. This upshot's touchy though. The slope of this is more severe than it looks. And a lot of people come up short because of that, and then you have that putt to an elevated basket with a big drop off behind. So I mean, that was a really, really well done shot right there to get it to just nestle up to the bottom of the podium.
18:45, Calvin Heimberg for the putt. Oh, and he made it. Did I see that right? That's his third bogey.
Calvin?
Yeah.
Third bogey. That's his third birdie in a row.
Third birdie. I should learn how to read or learn how to write, one of them.
Yeah, which means that he birdied hole number 3. That doesn't happen that often. And Austin Turner also birdied number 3. I would guess that there were not that many cards where 2 players on the card both birdied that hole.
Hole 5, 2059, Calvin Heimberg. Still in it. Can still win it, right?
Oh, for sure. And this tournament, there are going to be several players.
He's tied with Simon Lizotte for first right there. Minus 15. Okay.
Yeah, and on their card. We can see by the little superscripts next to their name that they're currently tied for second overall in the tournament. Forehand here, he's trying to push it out around the corner, and it's pretty tight there. A lot of people come up short in the woods, and a lot of people won't be able to make a putt from there. So getting it around the corner there is critical.
2140, Simon goes for a putt. Hole 5. Patrick Clark is in the house. Better late than never.
It's Austin Turner here.
Yeah.
And he's just laying it up. because there's
That
OB behind that basket.
That was 2140. I got my guys screwed up. All right, 2150. Ricky Wasaki. Man, this show is all. I promise you the first 3 shows are better than this, and the 5th will be also. Oh my goodness, that's not good.
Nope, couple missed putts here on 5. That was for birdie for Simon. In a tight tournament like this, you will think back on those putts.
2217, important. Calvin can get a birdie on here and go for the lead and take advantage of Simon's error.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this is what Calvin's been doing all year. I mean, Simon comes out and birdies hole 1 and 2, and you're like, damn, Simon's hot. And then Calvin birdies 2, 3, 4, and 5 and takes the lead right back.
Hole 6, 2320. Simon off the tee. Very close here. 1 stroke difference between him and Heimberg. Oh, and that puts Simon all the way down into 5th. Oh, that's Calvin going. What happened? Sorry, 23. Sorry, my number's all jacked up. Let's go back to like 20. Okay, here we go.
This is a pretty demanding tee shot. There's an out of bounds running the entire left side, and then it hooks off to the left. If you don't get it far enough, you're out of bounds. And if you don't get it far enough left, you have a really, really challenging shot for your second shot. And Simon pushed it too far left there, and he's OB.
And that sucks, right? I mean, he missed that last birdie, and now he's out of bounds. He's on a decline.
The only saving grace is that this is a par 5, and so of any hole that you want to go out of bounds on and have a chance to salvage a par, it's a par 5.
Calvin 2440. Calvin in now the place to take advantage of the second error by Simon Lizotte.
Yeah, and this is a really good landing zone. This is where you want your drive to be. Now you can see around the corner, but you still have to throw an extremely demanding shot to get it close to the pin. So he's going to throw a backhand. It's going to have to move big time to the right and then finish back to the left if he wants to get in position for a birdie or an eagle potentially.
I may have to pee twice in this show. Just saying, giving you a warning.
And this is what I think makes a course good is you can have a perfect drive and you still have a demanding second shot. And so he, despite having that advantage off the tee, he overturns that shot and now he's out of bounds.
And just so you know, Calvin needed that right there. He needed to take advantage of Simon's out of bounds, take advantage of Simon missing the birdie on the previous hole. And instead of taking advantage of it, he too goes out of bounds, picks up an extra stroke. 2540, Ricky Wasaki. Can he take advantage of the errors?
This is likely his third shot here, and he just pulls it too wide and hits those trees and comes down. And I don't think that was he's had a wrist injury that's basically kept him out of the season so far. And that just didn't look like the kind of throw that I would usually expect him to see. Usually if he's going to throw a 4 in here, he's going to throw a really overstable disc starting way to the right and have it move to the left and then finish back to the right. And here to me, what I see there is that he's not 100% confident with that shot yet.
What did you say? He's had a wrist injury that what?
It's kept him out of most of the tournaments this year. That's why we haven't seen him at all.
Oh, I have a wrist injury, but it's kept my wife in the game. It's interesting. Okay. 2645, Calvin for the putt. Now, important putt. As Brian was saying with the par 5, you can still par with a shitty shot. Can Calvin do it?
Just outside of the circle here, and perfect putt, saves the par despite the errant second shot. And those are the putts that you have to make if you want to win these tournaments. Those 30 to 40 foot putts.
Hole 7, Calvin Heimberg off the tee. We're in the final round. Music City Open in Nashville. This is the lead card.
This is a chase card.
Oh, yes. That's what I meant. Just testing Brian, see if he's listening.
Super demanding shot here, 535 feet. It is downhill, but it's a far distance to cover. You're up on this platform, and you can't see where you're throwing the disc. I think he ends up. Oh yeah, that's a pretty good shot. Most shots end up short on this hole, kind of either behind the rock in the tree or off to the left side in a similar spot, and you have like 50 foot downhill to the pin. That's a really, really good shot there.
That rock in all the shows we've watched is one of the best features I've seen yet. It's pretty cool. 28-38, Simon off the tee.
If we can see here, I mean, he is throwing this way out to the right. So he's hoping this is pulling back into the left hard because it was way out there. And it did well. And that roll, that extra roll there is phenomenal. He's got to basically tap in.
So Calvin and Simon still staying neck and neck fighting. 29-38, Austin off the tee. So they build that platform just for this tournament?
Yeah, and off to the left, just on the corner there behind the guy with the camera, you can see the women's tee box is also elevated right there.
Oh, okay. And they take those down when the tour leaves?
Not 100% sure about that.
Okay. Austin, 29-38, off the tee.
So we get to see the lefty here, and he's trying to throw the same shot on the other side. The problem is on this side, it's not open. There's a bunch of trees and stuff that you have to contend with. He just snuck up over that rock. It was a pretty cool shot. He sneaks up over the rock and rolls onto the green.
It does. Okay. I thought it stopped on the rock. Okay. 30-06, Calvin for the birdie. Hole 7.
Yeah. Great spot to be. I mean, that's a really good spot to be off that tee.
Hole 8, 31-10, Calvin Heimberg. Capable of getting the ace. Very capable.
I really like the course design here. You come from an open long par 3 into a really tight but short par 3. So you feel like you should get both of them, but they require completely different shots. Comes up a little bit short there, and he's in the woods on the left.
31-35, Simon off the tee. Also possible for an ace. I think he hit a tree right when he let it go, because in my notes I wrote douche. I couldn't see it right there. He must have done something. He must have done something stupid.
So thoughtful. You should tell us what you write in your notes more often.
Here we go. Replay of that.
Yeah, he hits a tree on the right side and it falls short. So he's not gonna be happy about that.
Maybe take your sunglasses off when you're playing in the shade. Ding dong. 31-50, Austin off the tee.
I'll tell you this about playing sunglasses with disc golf, or wearing sunglasses when you play disc golf. If I start a round with sunglasses on, unless there's a super dramatic change in the lighting or something like that, I like to keep them on. Like taking them on and off is kind of it's a weird thing. So, and same thing, if I start without using them, I try not to, I usually won't put them on unless I have to.
It's like taking a rubber off right before you finish. Like, what was the point? No, that doesn't work. Okay. My notes here about Austin, I'll give you. I also wrote douche. So try to watch where the disc. That means the disc didn't go somewhere good. 31-50, Austin off the tee, hole 8.
Every shot he just writes out "damn" or douche.
Yeah, dang or douche. Yeah, hit the trees again low, right?
Yeah, those just weren't good shots. Those just weren't good shots.
And here's the thing: it's possible to hole in one this one, guys. These are professionals, and they're doing this.
Yeah,
2 in a row, back to back.
Prior to that, we had a long par 5, a par 4 that required some big shots, a long par 5, then a long par 3. So they're throwing these just full shots with full distance drivers, shot after shot after shot. And then they have to come and throw a touch shot through the woods on hole 8. I like the change of pace there.
Brian Friend with the excuses for the pros. 32-04.
I'm
Ricky,
just giving some accolades to the course designer.
Oh, there you go. That's another way of putting it. Ricky Wasaki off the tee. This time I just wrote. Well, let's see what happens. Here we go. The second greatest of all time. Also hits a tree. What the fuck is going on with this hole? Simon hits a tree. Calvin hits a tree. No. Actually, sorry. Calvin got a good throw. Calvin, good throw. Simon hits a tree. Austin hits a tree. And Ricky Wasaki, second best player of all time,
I wouldn't say that. I would say he's the third best player of all time.
You know what I mean. 32.55, Calvin for the putt. From 50, 60?
Maybe like 45. Yeah, but
Crazy.
just change it
Can
up.
we see that one more time with audio? I love the sound of the disc hitting the chains. Reminds me of the school bell as a child.
You would typically see the bogey on. Calvin, long chance for the birdie.
What a shame to hit right, to get it right where you need to do and it not go in from that far away. What a shame.
Yeah, I mean that noise that's a noise you want to hear, but it's wasn't the result that he wanted.
Hey,
Long
you
chance
think
for the
that
birdie.
thank you, Caleb. You think that with your eyes closed, you would know the difference between the hitting of the chains and the basket going in, the
Disc
The
going
disc
in,
going
and
in
the
versus-
chains going out.
yeah.
No.
Maybe you would hear the disc. We'll listen. Okay. Well, you definitely hear the disc hitting the dirt.
I mean, there are times that I have it on live and I hear that sound and I'm assuming it's in, and then I'll be in the kitchen doing something or whatever, and I'll hear the guys say, "Oh my god," and it chained out, and I thought it was in.
You know what the problem with watching these condensed shows is sometimes there's shots you have to watch everything because the commentators will forget to tell you shit. Because you know what I mean, like a guy will be shooting from 12 feet and miss, and they won't be like, "Holy fuck, what an idiot!" They'll just be, you know what I mean?
Yeah, there are times. This happens to me with CrossFit too. There are times where I'll see something and I'm like, "You're not gonna like. How are you not saying anything about that?"
Right.
Yeah, they might be caught up in something other story that they were telling or a thought that they had about whatever the hole that just happened, and then someone throws this incredible shot, and I'm like, at the very least, like finish your thought and then say, "And wow, what an incredible shot by Paul Macbeth." But they don't even mention it sometimes, and it frustrates me.
In my fan theory, I think you're onto something. All these disc golf shows are lead to the first event of California Hormones Weekend, a disc golf tourney featuring Sevan, Caleb, and the number one scene. Hey, listen, if California Hormones put up like, I don't know, $1,000 for a fucking Frisbee golf tournament in Newport, I'd fucking go to that. I would make a showing there. I'd even play. God, that would be awesome. That seems more realistic. And you could be juiced up and play. No testing. God, that would be awesome. Yeah, I think he's onto something too. Good job, Robbie. I think he's onto something too for sure. It's manageable. May 31st, we have Greg Glassman scheduled for the podcast. May 31st. Did you know that, Caleb? Is that up on the calendar?
It's up there.
Oh, bitchin'. All right.
Just waiting for it to happen.
I got a funny story to tell you guys about that scheduling. It's pretty cool. Okay. Oh, but not right now. Hole 9. Hole 9, 34-25 Austin off the tee. I wonder how long before you go to a professional Frisbee golf tournament. Have you been to one, Brian? I know I've asked you that before.
I have not.
Okay. 34-25 Austin off the tee.
He's able to take a line there that's a little different because he's a lefty, so it's a big spike hyzer out around the tree, and he's about circle's edge.
35-05 Simon with the skipper off the tee. I don't know what they call that. I don't know what the pros call it, but
This is a forehand, and so he's got it because he's right-handed. He's going to throw the forehand. He's trying to skip it around with his distance driver, but it was too early.
by the way, it's always risky doing the skipper because you never know. You never know what it's going to hit down there on the ground.
That's true. I mean, sometimes it's the best shot. I was playing the other day with Scott, and I told him on this one shot, I'm like, I'm going to try to throw a low, hard backhand down this gap that's not the obvious gap and skip it up towards the hole. And I was able to put it within 15 feet. But you're right. You could hit a root. You could hit a rock. You could get a thick patch of grass, and you don't get what you want out of the shot.
And what we are going to see later on in the show is you're going to see some mud like we've never seen before. And you're going to see some behaviors from disc like we've never seen before as we go into the back nine. Zach, 799 Australian. Look up LIV Golf, Real Golf, hole in one in Adelaide over the weekend. Happy Gilmore vibes. Sorry, Brian. No reason to be sorry. LIV Golf, Real Golf. Okay. And I appreciate the loot and the giant fish. Calvin, minus 17 in third place after the front nine final round.
Mm-hmm.
So it's at one point Calvin was in first place and now he's in third.
Well, he was pretty much in second. He was pretty much in second that whole time on relative to the entire field. He was leading his card for most of the nine.
I am going to take a small. I think I am. If I can find
Pull
it.
up the pull up the first.
Caleb will pull it up while I pee.
Okay. I want to try to see who is on the lead card here. So that was the front nine for the chase card. Those are the guys who were in 5th through 8th coming into the final round. Now we're going to take a look at the guys who are in 1st through 4th coming into the final round, and a majority of these players stay in contention throughout the tournament. We saw Austin Turner and Ricky Wysocki fall off a little bit, but the guys on the lead card and the guys on the chase, and then Calvin Heimberg and Simon Lizotte remain in the picture in terms of potentially winning this thing for a majority of the round.
And here we go.
What is with this guy, you know?
If Howard Stern and Joe Rogan had a baby, you'd be looking at him. Remember, the people were live, so don't start picking your nose or pull your dick out or anything crazy like that. And this is why this is the greatest show on the internet, because there's a comment here that says a lot of pre-cum, and then right after there's a comment that says it's so sad. Let's go back to hand jobs.
People without their names, and they
No one clip that and play that on the internet. A thumb with a mustache. Yes. A thumb. Listen, a guy named Johan Lopez called you a thumb with a mustache. Wow.
I'm gonna shit myself.
Man, that Sevan podcast is dull as shit.
Okay, you guys have a great day.
Okay.
you too. Thanks for calling.
Mwah.
No.
I was feeling familial, like it was my mom I was talking to.
Caleb, that's your best work ever.
It's my only work ever.
Oh, all right. Brian, we're going into the final round in the front nine. Now we're going to the main card.
Yep.
So that was the chase card.
Yep.
Those were 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. Now we're going to see the same exact holes, but with the good guys.
Yeah, and so here we have Chris Dickerson, who's the guy to beat at this course for sure. Anthony Barella, young up-and-comer in the sport. We've talked about him on the show before. Gannon Burr, he's potentially the best player in the world right now. I'd say that it's him and Calvin Heimberg are kind of the two guys you expect to be in contention at every tournament. And Ezra Aderhold, who's had a second-place finish already this year on the tour and is having his best season of his career.
And what a great name, Aderhold. Muddy course affects the footing of the players. We're looking at the main card. Chris Dickerson has had 0 out-of-bound throws in his first 36 baskets, which I guess is significant because the commentators mentioned it.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things about Chris Dickerson is he is as good as you'll find at having a game plan and executing it. And so he may not be playing every hole for birdie, where some of these guys will choose to be a little bit more aggressive and they'll take the risk reward. You know, Ricky Wysocki has this reputation of like he goes for everything. So you might see him have 1 par on in the entire round, and he's got 12 birdies, 5 bogeys, and a par. You know, because he's just taking the risk and he's willing to go for the birdie on everything, knowing he's going to get a couple bogeys and still thinks that's going to net him a better score than. Whereas Dickerson might say, you know what, there's 4 holes that I'm going to play for par. I'm just going to chip it up here, pitch it up to the pin, take the 3, and see on the next one. And so he's, this course has a lot of out of bounds and a lot of demanding shots that if you get a little bit too aggressive, it's easy to get a big number. And he's been avoiding that better than anyone. And that's why he's the leader going into the final round.
I'm just realizing that Trish loves the word euphemism. I'm just realizing that. Okay. Hole number 1, 509. It's our first look, ladies and gentlemen, at Anthony Barella, affectionately known as AB, off the tee. One of the longest throwers, strongest arm, big guy. My God, with the short shorts.
Yeah, and he's going to try to throw this really high and have it finish really far to the left. And when he throws, when he gets a hold of a disc, and it does exactly that, by the way, it's just, I would like to see him throw it in person. I mean, it's ridiculous how far he throws a disc.
539, Gannon Burr with one of my least favorite shots in all of sports, any kind of throw, the roller.
So he's throwing a massive Anheuser shot that he's trying to go around the outside of the tree. This is not the intended line at all. Get it to flip up, land on the ground, and roll. And he thinks that he can gain an advantage relative to the card here, or the field. And he basically does it as well as any person could ever hope to do it. That is absolutely insane, and the best position I've seen anyone in on after this tee shot.
703, Anthony Barella, second shot. How tall is Anthony? Is he a 6'5"er?
Yeah, something like that.
And this other dude, Gannon Burr, this
taller than that, 6'7". I think now he's still growing.
As thick as a sheet of paper.
Gained 15 pounds.
Anthony Barella.
Gained 15 pounds. Still gets blown over by a tall gust, a strong gust of wind.
Yes.
Big forehand here. This is we've talked about this. First hole is really, really tough. The window to get into this green is very, very tight. He kind of gets a weird reaction there on the ground. And even though he had a great drive and a good second shot, there's no guarantee he's going to birdie this.
717, our first look of the show of Ezra Aderhold. This is his second shot.
Yeah, so he's basically trying to just throw the same shot that we just saw there from AB. Ezra's also a very powerful player, and he throws one of the best up shots that you'll see on this hole. It's kind of cool, actually, to realize that, between AB, Aderhold, and Gannon Burr, you got three of the longest throwers in the game, and on a course where that's obviously rewarded. But at the top, coming into the final round, is Chris Dickerson, who's this tactician.
820, AB. He's going for the putt. Here we go.
Yep, so it comes up short, but he's got a clear look at it. Not a bad place to be.
How do you know he comes up short?
No, his approach shot came up short.
Oh. And?
The putt was just about 2 inches short of going in. Yeah.
Yeah, crazy. So he hit the chains too.
Yeah, but that one, he just didn't give it enough.
Caleb not giving us the audio, even though he knows he should. That's kind of like a dick tease that Caleb is. 840, Gannon Burr. Upside shot. I don't know what that means, but Brian will explain.
Yeah, so his approach shot into the green ended in a pretty difficult spot. He looked at a lot of different options here, and I mean, this is called a scuba, basically. That kind of putt where you're an overhand flick with the finger, and it's pretty touchy. And he also has to navigate, some branches there.
I would like to tell everyone that if you are putting together a mating strategy, do not ever stand like that in public. Did he make that?
No.
Oh, Gannon Burr with the miss. Okay, hole number 2, toughest hole on the course, some might say. Let's see what Mr. Friend thinks. Is this the toughest hole on the course?
I mean, 3 played as the most difficult relative to par, but hole 2 demands a far and accurate drive, and then a far and very accurate upshot. And even then, you might have a difficult putt for birdie. So it is extremely challenging, yes.
We got a good look at it. 940, 1128. Chris Dickerson, the man that Brian keeps talking about, the best frisbee golf player in all of Tennessee, and the ruler of this course.
Mm-hmm. He's in an okay spot here, but this shot is tough. You have to throw a shot into a really narrow corridor that's pushing forward the entire way, and if you go left or right, you're guaranteed a par at best. He wears a lot of camo, by the way, and I kind of like that shirt that he's wearing.
I like it too, actually.
So this is a perfect line, but it still comes up like 30 or 40 feet short. That basket is just tucked back in there really far.
I picture these guys' personalities as being like really stuck up, but really they have no reason to be. You know what I mean? But I mean, I have no basis for that. I'm just like in my head. You know what I mean? Like they're the best bowlers in the world. Like, oh,
Yeah, I mean,
cool.
they're the shirts they wear are kind of similar to bowling shirts, I guess, and the demeanors of the players are definitely varied, but they're really serious about what they're doing. They're very focused, and I can't actually wait for us to do the Champions Cup because you're going to get to meet a player that's like, I think is one of the most hilarious players because of his demeanor.
You can't wait. 12. What is the Champions Cup? What do you mean? What is that?
That's the one that happened this weekend. It ended today. It's the first major of the year. I'm going to start sending you the videos after we get off the air tonight.
12:58. Anthony Barella for the putt, hole 2. Those glasses. Oi.
So
From
didn't
what,
leave it
from
short.
80, from 100 feet? What is that?
Maybe 60, 50, 60.
And a miss. 13:30. Gannon Burr for the putt.
This distance putt is like a putt that I would say Gannon is better than anyone in the world at. But he doesn't usually putt like that. He usually putts really hard on a direct line and like almost breaks the chains by how hard he hits them. Here, he's worried about the out of bounds behind the hole, so he's trying to throw a putt that's not his normal putt, and it requires a lot of touch and control, and he didn't have it.
Hole 3. Chris Dickerson. Off the tee, I believe.
Yeah, and this hole, we talked about it earlier, is just this like, super demanding, very difficult shot. It's not like any other shot you're going to throw the entire day. Can't quite tell how his ended up. I think it hit a tree and came up short.
Yeah, he kisses that tree on the left side, I think.
Yeah.
16:25. Anthony. Can Anthony avoid the trees? What do you think?
Almost everyone hits a tree on this hole. That looks high to me. Yeah. So that's okay. That pushed all the way through to the opening. So he's going to have about looks like 30 to 35 foot putt for the birdie, which I think everyone would take that on this hole.
Let's go to 16:49. Gannon Burr. The guy that's currently Brian's number 1 guy.
This is how you want that shot to look. It's curving hard to the right, and then it comes back, it gets a little ground play, and kicks forward through the opening. So a pretty good shot there.
17:20. Ezra for the putt. God, that looks stressful.
Yeah, and didn't miss that by much, but it rolled out quite a bit to the backside there, and I still got like a 20-footer to come back.
17:40. Gannon Burr for the putt. Oh, man. Anthony doesn't look happy.
Basket definitely looks bigger when this kid's putting for some reason.
Oh,
It
thank
does.
you, Caleb. It was very generous of you.
Yeah, nice putt there. Picks up the birdie. Of the players that were in contention, we saw Austin Turner and Calvin make a birdie. No one else made a birdie on that hole. So he kind of is gaining a stroke against most of his competitors there.
We are going to skip over hole 4.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing too exciting there. Hole 5. 26-25. Anthony Barella, second shot.
Yeah, so this is the shot that they're trying to throw that forehand out the gap, push it around the corner, and then have it finish to the right up against a basket that's tucked pretty tight towards the wood line there. He gets the anti-skip that you don't really want to have, so he has a 35-footer instead of a 25-footer, but it's a makeable putt.
Ezra, second shot, 26-38.
Same shot. He's going to try to learn from Anthony and cut it a little bit closer. Cuts it too close, gets caught up in the trees, and that's not the place you want to be.
And then let's go to 27-58. Let's see how Anthony Barella closes up hole number 5.
Yeah, so these are the putts we talk about. Like these are the ones where you win or lose the tournament. Little step putt from outside the circle.
There it is for AB.
Drills it.
Wow, Caleb.
There.
And I really like that was when I was watching this the first time. I was like, that's the putt that he needs to find the rhythm with, because those other ones were kind of hyzering out left, even if it was high or short, you know. And this one, he flattened it out, had a nice trajectory, and found the heart of the basket.
He's got his chalk bag in his left hand there.
Yeah.
Hole 6, Gannon is tied for the lead with Heimberg going into hole 6. Now, there was a video that Brian sent me that unfortunately I did not send to Caleb. I wonder if I can find it. Let's see. Do you know what video I'm talking about, Brian?
Is it the cars?
Yeah. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Wow. Let me see if I can let me see how this works. If I can, so Brian sent me this and he goes, "Hey, save this video." And I didn't, and he didn't tell me why. Let me see if I can share the screen here really quick. Sorry. Share entire screen. Is that what I want to do? Can I do that here? Oh, brace yourself. That was scary. Okay, so Brian sends me this, and I don't know if you guys can get the audio for this, but check this out here.
So you can't, you can't hear it, but I mean, you know what it sounds like when people are doing donuts with fast cars on asphalt,
right?
And basically, this picture
that's
from
not
earlier
good.
today.
What's going on here? Whoa, that was.
I sent you that too.
That was getting squirrely. Oh, it was just going through autoplay of all the shit you've ever sent me.
That's like the last 3 things that we've exchanged.
Oh my goodness, that's not good.
So anyway, there's a property that it butts up against this course where it's a private property, and every day at a certain time of day, these guys just come out here and start doing donuts and donuts and donuts with these cars for hours, and it's audible throughout the disc golf course, like really loud. And you know, usually you have quiet when you're putting, especially, and so you can focus. And the guy who runs, or the president of the Disc Golf Pro Tour, went and confronted, and inquired about this during the evening after the first day that it was happening. And basically he was told there's absolutely nothing that can be done because it's private property, and those guys don't give a fuck at all, and they're just going to keep doing it. So the players had to kind of deal with that. Wow,
Fascinating. Okay, well, we'll play a little sound for you. Let's go to hole number 6, 3304. And you can listen to the sound here as Gannon Burr is throwing. God, can you imagine what, man? Okay. Wow, Gannon Burr is really skinny. He almost looks like a thalidomide baby there. Look at it. Like, what are his hands and fingers doing? He's got he is thin. Those don't even look like appendages. Okay, here we go.
And he is going to be 2 paces outside the circle and chaining out right side.
So tough miss for him, but you can hear the cars just doing donuts in there.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So, you know, first of all, yeah, we could hear that. And second of all, I thought he made the putt just based on the sound.
Right. 30 Gannon putting with car doing more donuts. Here we go. It's the second attempt at the second putt.
Moving day.
Aye. Ezra hits the basket.
Ezra is short again. He's missed a couple putts from outside the circle now.
And that's that aggressive line putt that I talk about that you're used to seeing him doing.
Trish, my neighbor had a pet opossum, and it actually graduated kindergarten yesterday. Congratulations.
No one left behind. No possum left behind.
Hey, can you stop squeaking your tires? We were playing Frisbee. Fair enough. Okay, so and you'll hear that throughout the show now. You know, if we plays audio, listen for the car doing donuts, and now you know why. Hole 7, 3650 Gannon Burr.
A lot of hope when he's putting the disc.
Look at the crowd.
Usually means that's about to happen.
Mm-hmm.
3715 Ezra Adderhold, hole 7. Trying to keep up with Gannon Burr.
Look where Ezra landed.
Mm-mm.
And Chris Dickerson, 3730, hole 7. Chris, don't let us down, buddy.
Yeah, this is that really long downhill shot over the cornfields, and you see everyone's come up a little bit short. They have a downhill putt, and I think this is a big moment here. You know, Chris was still in the lead at this point. Gannon just made that putt. Ezra just made that putt. We saw a couple other guys on the chase card birdie this hole, and that's a very makeable putt for someone of his caliber. And he's definitely gonna, like I said about Simon on that one hole where he left that very makeable putt. I think he missed it just a little high. Chris would want that one back.
Okay, here's where it gets interesting. Those of you who've waited this long, here we go. Now shit gets interesting. Hole 8, 3850, Anthony Barella. Watch closely, people. Watch closely. Watch closely. What the fuck was that? Did you see that?
I knew when I was watching this that you were going to pick out this moment.
What the is that the Sasquatch that they're always talking about at street parking?
It's gotta be.
Listen, I've seen some dumb shit in a lot of sports. That's worse than fucking Dave's dog at the 2008 fucking CrossFit Games. What the fuck is that guy doing?
It's one of the spotters, and it's just a really bad time. Really bad. I mean, he should not be doing that. That's totally inappropriate.
Hey, a good thing that Barella let it go before the guy started running.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, but I mean, it's just like, and what do you do? Like, I don't know. I have no idea what he's thinking. Like, the spot that he's running to is not a good spot to be. Like, we saw 3 of the other 4 players throw it into the woods on this hole on the other cart. Like,
but it even gets weirder. Lightning does strike twice. 39-15, Gannon Burr, 6'8", 13-inch penis. Watch closely. This is really hard to catch right here, what you're about to see happen to Gannon Burr. We'll play it a few times, and we'll play it with the audio now, too. Now, look at him. Look at him. Something happened to him. An apparition or a spirit passed through his body. He felt it in his soul. Is that what happened? No. Listen up close. 39-15, Gannon Burr, hole 8, with a little audio.
I don't think.
Yeah,
What
what
the
the
heck
heck is going on here?
Here we go. Off the tee.
I don't think he likes that there's a tree that close right there on the tee pad.
I actually hear it. I'm all for that complaint because there at no point.
So, Brian, you want to tell us why that's so bad to have anything close to the athletes while they're on the tee?
I think so. Jeremy Colling, who's the guy who's talking, that says he's all for what Gannon's kind of frustrated with. There is also a pretty tall player, he's 6'3" or 6'4", and basically what he's saying is Gannon, in Gannon's mind, and this happened to him every round in this tournament on this hole. It's like he feels like he's going to hit his hand on that tree on the follow through, and so he can't really commit to his shot, and he doesn't love that tree's there. So that's what's going on.
If your hand were to hit a tree at somewhere during during that explosion, how hard these guys throw it, and it was at the end, it could be a career-ending injury.
I mean, in the worst case scenario, yeah, but at the very least, it's going to hurt a lot.
Like they deserve not to be worried about trees on the tee.
On the tee, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
obviously, if you throw it into wherever you throw it, you got to play it from. But on the tee shot, I feel like you should have the freedom to take a full swing.
Yeah, and if I'm the judge and I think that's an issue, I stop the tournament and I fucking remove that. I go to my RV, take out my my clippers, and I clip that branch.
Your Ryobi.
Yeah, my Ryobi. Yes.
I'm just so impressed with Trish's use of the word Mando.
Oh, what? Oh, where's this right here? Double Mando. Yeah, double Mando. Wow. Holy shit. Yeah, double Mando.
Brian, I said Mando. Please notice.
I like Kenneth DeLap's. Brian, I said Mando. Please. Oh, that's awesome. Did you see that? Kenneth DeLap. Very important question. There was a 2008 games. I thought they started in 2015. It's a fair question. It's all depends on what you call the CrossFit games.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like if you said 2011 instead of 2015, it'd have a little more credibility.
Well, we feel you. 3950, Chris Dickerson off the tee. We'll skip that. 40-25. Ezra for the putt. 40-25. And this is why we.
Kenneth DeLapp must be a Rich Froning hater. He just conveniently picked the year immediately after he stopped participating as an individual.
Yes, not cool. 40-25. Ezra for the putt.
Cool putt here, framed up with the trees. Unable to get it though.
Did he hit a tree? Did he make it to the basket?
No, he hit the band on the top. So
Oh,
he
good.
hit his line, but he didn't have the right height.
Yeah, that's incredible. Good job, Ezra. 40-50. Ladies and gentlemen, I have never, this is in the 4 tournaments that I've watched, this is the first time I've seen this. No, sorry, this isn't it. Must be after this. Go ahead and play this. This is Anthony Barella.
You're gonna make your money, I feel like.
Yep. And
Okay, I think it must be right after this,
maybe
Caleb.
unable to make.
Here we go.
This
This is it.
Limb that prevented him from having a good look. He's got
Ezra,
this
hole
left
8.
for the par. No.
That was the commentators for this sport are they're a little uptight. They're wound tight.
This is what I'll say about the commentators to this sport.
They're good.
Most
They're
of
just wound
them
tight.
have already played the course this day.
Mhm.
And then they're waiting for the production team to put together something for them to watch in a studio late that night and then talk over it. It makes for a long day for to play and do the commentary in the same day for the same tournament, especially when you're talking about doing it 3 or 4 days in a row. I think is an incredibly tiring weekend, and I give them a lot of credit for that. But that's part of the grind that some of these guys have to do to make it work financially, because there's not a ton of prize money in the sport. There is some sponsorship opportunity, but if you can get a job as a commentator and you're also good enough to play in the tournament, then you can guarantee yourself a little income, every tournament, despite how well you may or may not do in the tournament itself.
And I'm just saying that if this was a legitimate show, like in 3 or 4 years when we have a budget, we would clip that guy saying no, and that would become a part of our show forever. Like anytime we just saw something fucked up, but Caleb would push a button and it would play that no. I mean, that was crazy. That I thought that guy was straight until I heard that. Audrey from Australia with her ass out likes his outfit. Yeah, and this guy has a great ass like you, Audrey. So I understand. This guy's a great ass, great posture, does the shirt tucked in thing. But that is the shortest miss I've seen in professional disc golf. 40-50.
Professional disc.
Oh, yeah, right. Good point. Sexist. Yeah, that is the shortest I've seen in men's. If you have not seen the show where we played the one, do we have that, Caleb? Well, let's play that at the end. Do we know where that's at?
Play that the next time that Sevan goes to pee.
Yeah, I mean, that is just crazy. Oh, you're in Tennessee. Oh, shit. Wow. I thought that girl was in Australia.
No.
This whole time I thought she's
She
Australian.
went to this disc golf tournament. She's in the crowd.
Dude, she's
She texted me from the tournament. She DM'd me. She goes, "Brian, I'm here at the tournament. Well, I'm looking for you. Where are you?"
Audrey did?
Yeah.
What's crazy is this is the same Audrey that was in my birthday video?
Yes.
Fuck. I always thought she was cantankerous and wild like that. I just pictured her working on a
You don't
kangaroo
think
ranch
that
with
there are
30 dudes in
cantankerous wild
Australia.
people in Tennessee?
She hangs like a dude, so I just figured she's Australian. That's crazy. All right. Well, shit, I learn shit every day. I said, Brian, show me your hog, and I'm at the tournament. That's what I mean. Yeah. Oh, I know you're Aussie, Trina. Yeah. You and Audrey would be fucking great friends. My God. Okay. Hole 9, Barella off the tee, 42-57. Oh, going into hole 9, Chris Dickerson is still bogey free after 3 rounds. Barella, the big man with the short shorts.
Trying to get around this tree, finish back to the left. And we saw earlier that Simon didn't push it far enough and went for the skip play. Here, Anthony just went for the air shot, and he's got a massive forehand. So to throw a 400-foot forehand on just straight on hyzer, you have to have like 450 foot of distance, and there's just not that many players that can do that.
Caleb, let's go to 44-30. Barella, after that incredible throw off the tee, let's watch his putt on hole 9.
Good reaction off the rim.
That's another great soundbite.
Reaction off the rim.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some incredible action off the the rim. Okay. That's it for 9 for the lead card.
Yeah.
For the lead card.
So
Kicking
tournament's still
ass.
pretty tight. Dickerson did take a bogey on 9. He only played 2 under on the front side. So the guys who were trailing him by 1 and 2 shots have kind of caught up at this point, and it's a really, really tightly packed field going into the final 9 holes.
Glad we got that out of the way. Now can I really move into Sevan's backyard since I'm in the same country as him? God, my boys would love it if you moved into the backyard. We have a girl in the backyard. She lives back there. They would love to tell the kids at the skate park you live in their backyard. Chase card. We're in Antioch, Tennessee for the Nashville Music City Open. We're covering golf. No, it's not. We're not in Antioch, Tennessee.
Maybe I guess.
Final round, back 9. That means like the last 9 holes. 18 minus 9, those ones. Starting with hole 10. Let's just start at 320. Calvin for the short putt. Birds galore.
Calvin Heimberg, well under par already.
That's a bad miss. That's, now we've seen Simon and Chris and now Calvin all miss a putt that, if they look back at the end of this tournament and they have lost the tournament by 1 shot, they're going to think about that putt.
Hole 11, 515, Simon Lizotte. Currently, wow, what place is in 5th? In 5th place. Simon
this
Lizotte,
gap.
5th place.
Very open shot to begin with, but to push it up into the green here is pretty tough. A lot of players end up 30 feet short here. The fact that he skipped all the way up here and he's on like he's in what they call the bullseye within 10 feet of the pin is pretty rare on this hole. Almost everyone has about a 30-foot putt after their tee shot here.
535, hole 11, Calvin for the putt.
And so here, he actually pushed deep on this hole, which is really unusual.
Meaning off the tee, he went past the basket?
Yeah, you don't often see that.
You mean on this specific hole, or?
Yeah, on this hole. Almost everyone, when I said everyone has like a 30-foot putt, they're usually 30 feet short. They get caught up by the trees or the rocks at the entry to the green.
Oh, it's not because they're afraid of going out of bounds in the back?
No, it's just because there's a lot of trees and rocks at the entryway.
Hole 12, 745, Simon Lizotte off the tee. The reason why I chose this is maybe Caleb will be kind enough to play the audio with this. Listen to the commentators here. It's the first time I've heard this ever mentioned in any of the shows we've covered.
A little bit different, maybe more of a steep hyzer into the green, or maybe a floaty anhyzer.
Simon got a little distraction from the crowd, I think. Able to reset very nicely.
I haven't heard any talk about the crowd, any distractions up until now in all the shows we've watched. We had the car burning out. We had someone run across. We had someone get hit in the head but what is that? Is that have you ever heard about that before? And what's the protocol there? The etiquette?
I mean, at the major tournaments like this, there's people in this crowd that are holding signs that say quiet, but sometimes, someone doesn't adhere to that, and the players have to, you have to make the decision. Are you gonna, if something distracts you as you're running up to throw your shot, are you going to be able to stop your shot, in mid momentum, or are you just going to try to block it out and continue to execute? Simon continued with his motion there and was able to throw an excellent drive on a pretty demanding tee shot.
8:15, Simon Lizotte. There are people
Into the
holding
green.
signs, huh?
Quiet signs, yeah.
Okay. I'm in
27
big
feet.
trouble.
So this is a similar shot to what we saw in hole 5, where you have to tuck it around a pretty tight corner to get it close to the basket. And you want to get as close as you can, because looking this way behind the basket, there's OB and there's also a pond back there. So that's one of the better up shots you'll see on this hole. And Simon's throwing 2 excellent shots to get in that position.
9, Heimberg at 9 on the button, 9 minutes on the button. Calvin, Vinny, Heimberg. Okay,
Austin
maybe
Turner.
Austin Turner.
No, that's a bad miss, and that was a tentative putt. It's understandable considering what's behind the basket, but not what not what he's looking for. He's just trying to stay in contention to win this thing.
God, Heimberg looks like a praying mantis there, doesn't he?
Bit of the putting struggles yesterday, poking its head out a little bit today. Still on a solid round though, 4 down. Hopefully.
Ricky Wasaki, 919 for the putt.
I believe. Just Nathan, how would you keep your balance on that downslope?
Ricky got lucky there on his upshot. I mean, he cut it in too close, and he ended up in his favorable spot where he could still make the birdie. Most players, if you like, it's pretty difficult to end up where he is there. You have to get pretty lucky through the trees.
949, 949, Simon with the putt. Hole 12.
And then just straight nose down the putt.
Down by
It is.
3.
Yeah.
Been that.
That's a nice shot there. Simon has a spin putt, so that, you see how much, you can kind of see how much spin he puts on that putt, and that was a really good view of it, and he's famous for that. He's probably the best spin putter in the world.
Even with that birdie, he's he's still in 5th place, and he's 2 behind Calvin Heimberg even after making that.
Yeah, and Calvin's not even the leader. He's only in 2nd at this time. So Ricky and Austin are kind of out of it, and Simon's in like must execute mode, where if he wants to catch, there's a few players ahead of him, and he has to basically make birdies on every hole.
Hole 13. Let's go to 1305. Simon with his 2nd shot, pulling out the putter with a big crowd.
That is a nice crowd shot there.
This is a 616-foot par 4, hole 13.
Yeah, and pretty good shot. I mean, it's a tough. It looks like an easy shot from there, but that tree is in the way. Obviously, you have to decide if you're going to go left or right, and he chooses to bring it in from his right side of the tree. But the ground play was a little bit more than he'd want, and so he's got about a 20 to 25 footer there. He would probably expect to be within 10 to 15 on that shot more often than not.
1325, Austin Turner with a 150-foot putt.
Jump putt. And this is, I mean, there are players that can do this, but this is very, very difficult to jump putt this far.
This is
Look at this.
ridiculous amount of jump putt power right here.
He's about 150 feet, and he
And I mean, those guys they play. They're pro players as well, and they're even recognizing how impressive that is. And it's not like he's throwing it super high. Like, he's getting power on that and holding a line and an angle for a majority of that. That was a really good shot.
Wow, let's look at this fucking comment right here. I want the second half of Brian's life.
I don't even know what to think about that.
That's like one of the most powerful things I've ever tweet that shit. That is powerful. Wow. That's like Floyd 19. 1505. Let's go to 14. Let's go to 14. I'm trying to rush it. Let's go to 14. Sorry. Let's go to 14. Let's go for Vinny for the putt. Vinny's winning. He's kicking Simon's ass. And let's see Heimberg for the putt. 14 minutes. Here we go.
Off that par streak.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my God. Hey, he looked away. How did he even know that it didn't go in? He looks away before it even.
No, he saw.
He did.
And I think that he kind of knew. We've seen now, I think 3 or 4 times that high left side is not catching the discs. So he knew that was a miss that was more likely than not going to, just fall out to the left.
Do you know why this is such a hard sport to watch? And I've talked about this before, but not in a while, because the athleticism that we're used to seeing predominantly in all of sports is that you don't start your motion off your midline. Like it's a quarter extremity motion. In this sport, like they use as a governor or as a regulator of power and velocity coming off your midline. And it's just hard to get used to, right? You would think that like you would just stay in your position and not twist as much, but no, they have all these weird leanings and angles, and they do all of these things. It's just a bizarre form. It's just a bizarre form. You feel me on that?
No. Not. I mean, I think you're talking mostly about putting. Like when you're throwing,
yeah.
Like
well, anything after,
disc,
mostly the putting. Yeah, you're right, mostly the putting. But even there's a lot of not full power shots or shots that they use to manage their power by.
But even if you're throwing a touchy forehand shot, like I'm still bracing my core and getting a little bit of, that's where I'm establishing the control from. Right. And it's just like how aggressively I'm moving my arm and snapping my wrist and my fingers depends on how far I want it to go or what I want it to do in the air.
Is this true? There is not a disc golf babe?
I don't know what that means. I mean,
that means is there like a dude who's just a pussy magnet of all the dudes?
I think
there is one. There is one.
I'll have to think about that. I do think there are probably
Ezra.
But maybe Ezra. I don't know.
I think Ezra's got his girl though out there. I want to say on one of the other shows I saw him kiss his girl. Anyway, we'll find out. We'll get back to you on that if there is a if there's one. Okay, 1505 Simon Lazat down 2 from Heimberg. 5th place overall.
He's down
pretty
1
much
at this
out of it.
He's down 1 at this point. Because Simon missed that putt on the last one.
Oh, okay.
And this shot right here.
Wait, is this 1505? It's supposed to be it's supposed to be the putt.
That was 1505.
Oh, but that's off the tee, isn't it?
Yeah, it's fine.
Oh, right.
This shot right here, to throw the shot that he wants to throw, it has to look like he's throwing it into that light green tree on the left. And it was, I mean, this looks like a bad shot, but it's a perfect shot. And it was, it's a tricky hole to shoot. I watched this hole many, many times. And almost all the players that are trying that shot, I would say 90% of them are ending up deep and left of the pin. And Simon just pured the line. That was a touch shot with a high speed driver and very, very well done.
All right. That was hole 13.
That was hole 14. So Simon's going to tap that in for a birdie there.
Wait, that was hole 14?
Yeah, look at the top right corner of the screen.
You have 2 time codes for 1505.
I have 2 hole 14s.
No, you have a 1505 in hole 13 and a 1505 in hole 14. 13 and 14.
Oh, that's a fucking mess already.
That's okay. But I think basically we're gonna pause here and go back to the lead card for those holes 10 through 14. Is that right?
Hold on. Let me see 1650. Ricky from 50 feet. What hole is that? Okay, no. Let's finish it. Sorry. Okay, you don't have to go that far. Okay. Hold on one second. 1548. Ricky slips on a tree. We don't need that. 1615. Vinny in the bushes. We don't need that. 1630. Oh, okay. Let's do that. Let's go to 1615 and watch Vinny have to tackle this hole after getting himself in a precarious position. This is Heimberg at 1615 off the tee.
So he's going to try to throw the exact same shot as Simon here. So it wants to look like it's going towards that light tree, and you can see that it's immediately going too far left and probably going to go too far. And that is the exact spot that a majority of the players end up in.
And 1630, Vinny for what looks like it's the long putt. Extremely long.
Good height offline, and I mean, I'd say more players than not are going to take par from there, which is what Calvin's about to do. And so with that miss and Simon being right up there close for the birdie, they're about to be tied.
Ricky Wasaki in 10th place goes for a 50-foot putt. Getting to do or die time for Ricky.
Yeah, for sure. And when Ricky's in his top form, there's other than maybe Gannon Burr at this point, there's really no other player that I would want to take a 50-foot putt. I mean, he drains these regularly.
How the fuck are there so many pages?
You made him.
I just can't believe that. We're supposed to be like winding up here, the last 3 holes. Are we?
Wow.
We kind of are.
Well,
I don't understand what this page is. Something weird is going on here. Caleb, do you see what's weird that's going on here?
Yeah. I'm not really sure what's going on with it, but I know it looks like we're alternating. Like you have it set up.
Yeah, but look how it goes from hole. Look how it goes from hole 14. Are you going to show that last 1650 Ricky from 50 feet?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, cool. 50 Ricky from 50 feet. This is hole 14 still. Yeah, we got a problem. My notes. See if we can. Great shot.
Yep.
And
I mean,
Wow.
puts him in.
Fortunate to have a look here.
and hopefully that Ricky gets healthy this year and we get to see him contend in some big tournaments. And if that's the case, then we'll be seeing him make a lot of putts like that. He's very, very good at it.
Simon Lizotte, 1715, going for his 4th birdie. Still in 5th place.
Operators.
Yeah, I mean, this is just a tap in.
Simon.
And I mentioned it, I don't know, a hole or two ago. Like if Simon wants to win this thing, he's gonna have to basically birdie every hole, and he's just got 4 in a row right there. Calvin's got 2 birdies and 2 pars, so he chipped 2 strokes away from Calvin. But there's other guys that are still playing really hot as well.
I want to go back to. Oh shit. Okay, well, I guess we can skip all that. So basically, I think on this next sheet, we just go up to hole 14 with Gannon and Barella and Dickerson. Are you cool with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
that's fine.
Guys, this next hole you're going to see. So that was the lead card right there, right? No, that was
the
chase card. That was chase card. We're going to see how we're going to go to hole 14 and see how the
lead card is doing.
Lead card is doing. Thank you. That's going to get confusing for me.
I got you.
Thank you. Hole 14, par 3, 375 feet. Let's go look at Gannon at 1619. Off the tee. These guys really are impressive, though. The fact that they put these shows together really is impressive. It's a shit ton of work.
So same hole that we saw here. We know what we want to see this disc doing, going towards the light set of trees on the left. Most people pull it too far to the left. Paul Macbeth finished 25th in this tournament, so we're not going to get to see him. So this looks pretty good to me. It looks bad, but it should end up good. I think he might have got it a little too high though, and he got the trees, even though the line was good.
1728 Gannon for the birdie, par 3. So this will be Gannon's second shot. 1728.
Yep. So this is where he got caught up, and I mean, this is really difficult. Unlikely to make this, but he doesn't even give it a run. He just is kind of accepting a par here.
Anthony Barella also putting. Hole 14. 1750. Ooh, so that was for birdie?
I think so. And that's now we can add Anthony Barella to the list. You know, he's expecting to make that for sure. And we've seen pretty much every player who's in contention miss at least one of these today. And like I said, if you end up losing by 1 stroke in this tournament, which is probably going to happen considering how close it is, whether it's regulation or a playoff, a putt like that is going to come back to haunt you that night.
What channel is this on? The Home Shopping Network? Fair question. Wad Zombie, is it weird to talk about Ricky getting healthy and it not be about CrossFit? Also, good point. I think I saw that earlier. Melissa, oh, fuck. That hurts. I never even thought of that. That's fucked up. Melissa, here, did Sevan go for Craig Ritchie hairdo? Son of a bitch. Shut it, Caleb. That hurt. That actually does. That actually,
I can see the next. I can see the next thumbnail right now.
I can. I hope Bruce Wayne. I can. Usually when I say that, I don't mean it, but I can actually feel my face like getting a little warm with that comment. 18, Gannon Burr for the putt. Stay focused, people. 18 minutes, Gannon Burr for the putt. Look at Barella won't even move. What a douche. Beat it.
Yeah, so this upshot was a little longer than he would like.
It's kind of his MO.
It is.
But
notice the long shadows the trees are creating as the sun filters through the maples of Nashville. Hole 15.
Those are oaks.
Oh, oaks. Thank you.
No, I have no idea.
Hole 15, still with the lead card 7. We will be going back to the chase card very shortly to look at their hole 15. Hole 15 lead card 777 feet, par 4, out of bounds on the entire right side. Play it smart, boys. Simon Lizotte winning going into this hole with a minus 21.
No.
Oh, okay.
This is a really difficult hole. Getting a birdie on this hole will separate you from the rest of the contenders.
Okay, good point. Okay. 2015 Barella throws a bomb off the tee.
Yeah, that shot right there. A lot of players try that and don't have the distance for it. And so many of them end up out of bounds. Some of them end up caught in those trees inbounds with an awkward stance. But like I said, at hole 1, Anthony Barella, one of the farthest throwers of the discs on the tour, and he's able to throw a shot there that everyone wishes they had, but they don't have.
It's whatever channel they show Tyson Bajan's football games on. Oh my God. It's just drawings. It's just stick drawings. Man, this crowd is tough. What are you doing Monday? Nothing. I'm going to get stoned and just fucking destroy Caleb, Brian, and Sevan when they try to do a golf show. 21-32 after that fantastic shot by Anthony Barella. He goes for his second shot. 21-32. Well, thank you. You put me down and then fucking give me some advice on how to handle it. I appreciate it.
Pretty good shot there. Not, a lot of players end up in the trees over there on the left. He ends up in an open spot, but a little bit short. 35 footer if he wants to make the birdie there. He's coming off a missed putt of a little bit shorter than that, so we'll see.
22-35. We are running out of time, people. Barella, we're on hole 15. Anthony Barella has to make this putt. He's in 4th place, tied for 4th.
Very difficult for him.
What do you mean? It's right in front of him. Don't be a pussy.
He's got to make this with Gannon at 20. Oh,
that missed by maybe a half an inch. I mean, it hit the band and the chains, and sometimes those go in, and that just wasn't good enough.
Hole 15. People be making birdies on this like it's nothing. 28 birdies on this hole during
on
this
hole
competition.
15?
I don't know. That's what I have in my notes. You think that's wrong again? Think my shit's wrong? I've said a bunch of wrong shit today.
Well, I'll tell you this. Of the players who finished in the top 10 for this tournament, only 3 of them birdied.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So I got my, okay.
There might have been a lot of birdies further down the leaderboard, but the top players were not birdieing this hole. Most of them.
I have my own, you trained us to be this way. I have my own AI that just abuses me. It's awesome. But it's real people. Okay. Let's go back over to the chase card, hole 15, still 777 feet. Nothing's changed. Par 4. Let's watch Simon Lizotte and crew play this same hole that we just saw Barella miss a must putt on. The only hole on the back 9 that plays over par. What does that mean, Brian?
That means that that more players made bogey than birdie on this hole.
Oh, shit. Okay. So it's a tough hole.
It's a very tough hole.
So that other
The tee shot is extremely demanding. The upshot is extremely demanding. And
maybe it was 28 birdies on this hole, or bogeys. God, look at that. I mean, what a mess my notes are. I apologize. You expect better from me, I know. Okay. 15. Simon off the tee. Look at him. He almost looks normal.
38 players made bogey or worse on this hole that day.
Okay.
So he's going for a more conservative shot. He throws it far, but he knows he doesn't have the shot that Anthony Barella throws, but it's a demanding line. And he lands in the optimal, in the landing zone that players would take if they can't do what Anthony did.
Let's watch that one more time, and let's watch it with audio. And I want you to listen to what the commentators say here, and then tell me what you think that I glommed onto. Here we go.
Around 2 clusters of trees here, full power send, but willing to go left if necessary rather than hanging it right OB. Catches the second cluster, but still in a fine position.
Yeah.
Oh, he didn't even say it. What I thought he was going to say. Anyway, I noticed that sometimes they tell you what brand of disc they're using, and I'm wondering, in golf, do they do that when the guys are swinging with the clubs? They'll be like, oh, well, that's a blah blah blah. I mean, I know they'll be like, that's a 3-wood or a 7-wood or whatever the woods are, but here they actually tell you the brand of the disc. Is that because the plastics are so different? And I know that just from playing ultimate frisbee type golf, beach frisbee, the discs are different. Discraft is the best. The
But I mean,
and a Nova is not the best. It's a really hard, shitty disc for beach frisbee.
They could be talking about the brand of disc, the plastic that's being used, or the name of the disc. So they could say something like that's an Innovastar Destroyer.
Yeah.
Or you might have an Inna Champion Destroyer. So in the middle word is the plastic that they're describing, but we didn't hear them say it there, so I'm not really sure.
Okay. 21-20. Vinny, Calvin, Heimberg. A must-make putt situation.
Francis leaves himself a much longer par putt than you want.
I mean, he says that, but this is a tough hole. You'll take this here. And but I mean, that's for par. He would want that putt for birdie.
Do any of these guys openly play stoned?
Not that I know of.
Okay. I'm surprised none of them have like a CBD weed, like Snoop Dogg type sponsor. Mike Tyson's weed.
Like homegrown relief?
Yeah. What is that? Is that a jar of weed?
No.
CBD?
It's muscle and joint salve.
Oh, maybe I need that for my bicep and my back. God, I woke up stiff this morning. 22-11. Simon sets it in the basket and takes the lead by 1.
Yeah, and his best shot on this hole, you didn't use the one shot you chose not to show, which was his upshot. I mean, you see how close it is there, spiking it in the ground. And I don't really remember seeing another player throw a second shot that was that good on this hole. And
is that the one that sticks in the mud?
It is. It's stuck in the ground right there next to Ricky's right foot. That's called a tombstone, when it just comes in like that and doesn't go anywhere.
God, I remember seeing that on both the lead card and chase card videos and marking that. How the fuck did I not show that?
It's probably coming on the next hole too, hole 16.
Okay, it was an incredible shot.
But that was a great shot. And like I said, of the top 7 players by the end of the tournament, Simon was the only one who birdied this hole.
Okay, so I haven't heard that. I heard them using that term. I didn't get it. Tombstone, when the frisbee just goes in and lands.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
that's sticking up out of the ground.
Okay,
I threw one today.
You did?
I did.
Muddy course?
There's a muddy spot on the course. and I threw a really high spiking shot.
Hole 16, back to the chase card. No, back to the lead card. Par 3, 305 feet.
So this is the one where if you're able to make a birdie, you can win a guitar. I mean, if you're able to make a hole in one.
Oh, it was just on this hole.
Hole 16.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like a bounty on the hole. You know, sometimes they have that at golf tournaments where you say, hole in one, you win a car. Here was hole in one, and you win a guitar.
Okay, and there's nothing really to see here. Okay, yeah. So here we go. So let's watch. Wait, what the fuck? Okay, here it is.
I don't think
this is it.
The right hole.
So this is what happened.
This is not the right hole. Oh, whatever.
This is what happened. They're showing Simon from the chase card on the lead card footage. So this is the shot that Brian was talking about. Let's give it a look.
This is hole 17.
This is?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's totally fine.
Yes. Okay.
And this shot that Simon's about to throw, I didn't see any other players trying this shot in this tournament. Everyone else is either throwing a forehand that's going straight at the opening and trying to finish to the right, or they're throwing a turnover backhand that's trying to fade slowly to the right. But he's going to do something different.
17 has the lead. What can he do?
Look at all that green.
With the
He's
lead?
throwing a really aggressive spike hyzer over the trees, and there it is. He tombstones it right into the ground, about 12 feet from the basket. And he did this every round. He didn't have the same result every round, but I was just really surprised that there weren't any other players trying this, because a lot of players threw their tee shots out of bounds on this hole.
Great shot. Okay, so let's go back to hole 16, by the way. Let's look at Gannon off the tee, 2440. And then we will come back to that throw right there from the chase card coverage. 2450, Gannon off the tee.
And at this point in the tournament, the players that are still in contention to win are Simon Lizotte, Gannon Burr, Calvin Heimring, Anthony Barella, and Chris Dickerson. So it's still 5 players that could potentially win this thing.
Imagine that, Simon taking a different line. Oh, look at Sean, you dickhead.
Sean knows his stuff.
No,
Simon lines is like a real thing.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. I mean, if you're going out and playing with your buddies and you guys have any idea what's going on in a disc golf course, and you kind of look and you're like, oh, dude, look at that line up there. Someone will say, oh, yeah, that's a Simon line.
Wow. Okay.
There's actually a video that Simon Lizotte and Paul Macbeth made where Paul Macbeth has to throw a Simon line on every hole, and Simon has to throw a Paul line, which is like the more predictable one.
Oh, it's awesome. All right, Sean, I apologize. Maybe you do know your shit. Okay, here we go. Hole 16. Gannon Burr.
This is the one where you could win the guitar. And this is there's a million different ways to play this hole. And like I said, a lot of people came close to acing it.
So is that hole 17 or is that hole 16?
This is 16. The shot that we saw of Simon was on hole 17. And remember, Simon's playing one card ahead of these guys.
Okay.
So while they're playing 16 and they're at 20 under, Simon's already at 21 under, and he's playing hole 17, and he's right in position for birdie there too.
So Gannon doesn't get the hole in one. Anthony also throws one off the tee, doesn't get the hole in one. Let's go to hole. Why does it go straight to hole 18? Oh, Houston, we have a problem. Let's try it. Let's go to hole 18. Oh, this is a mess. I apologize. What is going on with these notes? Something got.
I mean,
really
I can tell you,
up.
Okay, are they showing Simon playing? They're showing Simon playing hole 18. This is great.
Okay, is this a 26-28? Okay.
Mm-hmm. So this is Simon's tee shot on hole 18. He has up to this point he's birdied holes 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17 so he's birdied 7 holes in a row, and now he's coming up to the last hole.
Oh man, something's not right here.
It's
How
fine.
do we go back to hole 17? Oh, I know why, because they're showing him again. Gotcha.
It's totally fine.
Okay.
This is like in real time. Simon's playing this hole 18 before those other guys are playing hole 17.
Okay, so they're showing footage that they shouldn't be showing.
They have permission from GK Pro to show it.
Okay. Here we go. Simon Lizotte from the chase card.
Mm-hmm. And that's not the line that everyone will take, but he puts himself in a position where he does have an upshot to the basket, which we're going to see right now.
Actually, we'll come back to it.
No, let's show it.
I don't think they do show it, actually.
Okay, let's see. He's basically thinking to himself right now, like, this shot is to give me a chance to win this tournament.
Oh, shit, they do show it. You're right.
And he throws a shot that was really reminiscent to the upshot we saw at the beginning of the round, and that's the best upshot I've seen on this whole all tournament.
Upshot meaning it's uphill?
No, it's his approach to the basket.
Wait, why do they call it an upshot if it's not uphill?
Just like the second shot on a par 4 is just called an upshot.
All right.
But he taps that in for 8 birdies in a row to end the round. And, I had said, when he was in 5th place in holes 11, 12, 13, that he was basically going to need to birdie out to have a chance. He did that, and so he's put himself in a position to potentially win this thing. But Gannon Buhr and Anthony Barella are still charging hard from the card behind him.
And let me show you this. I do want to show you this hole 17. It's a par 3, 355 feet from the lead card.
Yeah.
Check this out. This is let's go through all of these real quick. We'll do it really quick. It's worth it, I think. 28-30 Gannon Buhr off the tee.
Yeah, we got to do these. I mean, Gannon and Anthony Barella still can win this thing, like that, without a doubt. What's Gannon at? He's at 21 under right now, so he just has to birdie the last 2 holes. Simon just did it, and Gannon will think he certainly can too.
Okay, here we go. 28-30 Gannon off the tee.
Huge shot here.
Very, very big shot.
And this is the line, the forehand line that most of the players take. He's got it on a good angle. He got it around the corner. And it takes a really unusual reaction there and skips hard and out of bounds. When he gets up to the green, he realizes that there used to be a tee pad in that spot. And so the ground is a lot harder than pretty much anywhere else. And it skipped off of that hard ground and went out of bounds. But I would just say that he needed to throw that a little bit deeper and get it a little bit higher up the hill, and he would have been just fine.
So tough shot. Not a good time to go out of bounds. 29-17, hole 17. Anthony Barella. Can he get an ace off the tee? It's possible.
That out of bounds shot from Gannon Buhr basically takes him out of it. He'll have to eagle 18 now to have any chance.
Totally possible to ace this shot, right?
Yeah, for sure. Also going for the forehand line here, AB. Gets it out wide enough. Let's just see what happens on the ground play. And his basically just sticks in the ground and stays, which is what Gannon obviously would have been hoping for.
And Caleb, if you keep playing this out, they'll do a tracker shot so we can actually see how close he gets to a hole-in-one here.
Yeah, the follow flight technology is very cool. We haven't watched a lot of it on the coverage that we've done of these, but yeah, you see that there. It was really, really a good shot. And he was at 20 under par, so he's going to have a tap in to get to 21 under par, meaning that he also will need to get a 2 on the last hole now to match Simon.
And we will now watch a series of 3 shots that are probably the most painful thing I've seen in Frisbee golf. 29-50 Ezra Adderhold. Man, this is tough what you're about to see here. Here we go. Ezra, 29-50. You don't want to see anyone get done like that.
So the fact that he's throwing from there means he's already gone out of bounds once. And now he throws this shot, and it gets caught up in that tree.
30-10 for the putt after getting caught in the tree Brian just mentioned.
This is for a 4, which would be a bogey. Hits
Watch
the band
this.
And rolls. And the only good thing is that it didn't keep rolling and go out of bounds, but he's further away than he was in his previous putt. And now he's putting for a double bogey.
God. That's brutal. That's got to be hard to keep your head in the game when you throw it and it rolls back further than you were before.
It happens. I mean, we will see it happen again for sure. And then he just misses barely high left side chains. And so he's going to take a triple bogey here. Now, this is Gannon putting for a par. And he needs to make this to have any chance at matching Simon. If he makes this, he can still get a 2 on 18 to force a playoff.
Be a triple bogey for Ezra, but really this is the important one.
And that's, I mean, I would say that's one of the worst putts I've seen from Gannonburr. He's usually as dependable as you can be from that range.
I've never seen a triple bogey, by the way, in the chase card or the lead card. That's the first time in four shows we've covered.
Yeah.
Okay. Ezra needed a birdie. And
You will see more. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once we get to, there's a course called Northwood Black it's in Illinois actually. And when we get to that tournament, we'll see some scores worse than that, even from the best players.
Back to the chase card for our final holes, 16, 17, 18.
No. We'll just go to hole 18 lead card. We already know what Simon did on those holes.
Perfect.
Birdied all of them. So we're just going to go to the last to hole 18, and the only player that's left at this point, because Gannon missed that putt, that can match Simon is Anthony Barella. So we need to see what he does on 18.
Okay, Lazat minus 23 going into hole 18, 723 feet, par 4, 32-30. Anthony Barella goes for the big throw off the tee.
And remember, we've been talking about Anthony Barella as being the, what is this? This is a hole number 6. We need to go.
I gave you the wrong link.
Hold on.
We need to go to the back 9. But
I could have easily given you the wrong link, Caleb. I was going back and forth.
It should have been that same one we were just on. But anyway, we've been talking throughout this round that Anthony has the one of the biggest arms in the game, and then hole 18, you're going to need two big shots that if you're going to throw it in. So here we go. See his tee shot. And I'm just going to tell you right now, this is absolutely smashed. Like, this is a full send. This is everything you got. He gets a full flex out of this. This is going uphill, and no one else is up there. No one else is throwing the disc up there. But he needed to be about 15 more feet to have the shot that he would want to have into the green to have a chance for 2. Instead, what we're about to see with his second shot is that there is a line, but it's a very demanding line.
Do you want to watch Gannon off the tee, 32-50?
No.
Okay, 34-06, Barella goes for it.
Yeah, so he's...
Please play the audio.
Yeah, he's got to make it.
That was huge. All right,
he's got to throw this forehand, and he's got to go through some trees that are about halfway of the way up there.
Oh, look at that. Oh, my gosh.
What a great angle of the gap.
He thought he had it.
I think they show. Do they show the reverse angle of that?
They do. We'll get a slow-mo coming up next.
Oh, we got to have a replay. Yes.
Oh, totally. What
it's
a
really
shot.
Good from this line, so you can see. He gets it through the gap, and it's basically at the right height. It just comes up a little short. I mean, that's a 1 in 100 that you're going to make that. Maybe 1 in 1,000. But the fact that he gave it that good of an effort at that point in the tournament is very commendable.
And then 34-35, Barella putts for an attempt at second place, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
34-45, sorry. He needs to make this putt to secure second place.
And there's Chris Dickerson, and he just had a bad round. He had shot, I think, 8 under on the previous 2 rounds. He only shot 5 under today, and some other guys played hot, and he ended up finishing tied for 3rd. He still has never had a finish worse than, I think, 6th in all of his appearances here, and he's won 4 out of 7 that he's played. So he was in it, but these guys just played better.
He just couldn't get in the basket. And that right there means that putt for Anthony is for solo second.
And this is what else? I mean, we saw all of those guys miss a putt at some point in the tournament. I mean, for Anthony Barella, he ends up being the guy who loses by 1 shot and knows that there's 1 or 2 putts that he left out there that he should be making. When I was watching this tournament, a part of me was really pulling for Anthony because, he was the up and coming hot shot. He was in 2015, he was touring with Paul Macbeth, touring with Nate Sexton. He had like the best mentors you could hope for. He already had sponsorships. His ceiling is as high as it could be. And I think that as competitive as everything is, there's still a difference between someone who's in it to win, like in the mix to win, and there's someone who has actually pulled off a win at one of these events. And I thought if Anthony was able to win this one, that it would be really good for his confidence and really good for the overall competitive landscape of the field, because everyone knows he's a threat. But until he wins one of these, is he really a threat? Like, you know, he's not like Gannon Burr, who's 3 years younger, but already has a couple wins under his belt at big tournaments, at majors. And so obviously it's a great tournament for him, but I'm really looking forward to the day that Anthony Barela finally pulls off a win at one of these things.
When was the last time Simon won a tourney?
Yeah, so I mean, it'd be, you know, Simon ends up winning this thing, and it's actually, you know, Simon Lizotte in and of himself is a storyline in disc golf. Last year, he won three PDGA disc golf tour stop. I think he was the only person to do that last year. He won them all in pretty dramatic and you know, very entertaining fashion. But he switched disc companies this offseason. And I told my brother at the start of the year, I was like, I think Simon will be in some tournaments, but I'm not sure he's going to win one this year. The field is really deep, and as good as he is, like, it's just difficult to acclimate to a new bag well enough to execute everything that's required to win these tournaments. And look, to do it, he had a birdie the last 8 holes in a row. But he did that, and it's incredible. And Simon, I think Simon probably has more fans and more supporters than anyone. I mean, he certainly
really?
Yeah, he certainly has the least amount of people that don't like him. I don't think anyone doesn't like Simon. Like, he is, if you watch any of his YouTube videos, he's just extremely good on camera. He throws incredibly entertaining shots. He's genuine. He really respects the game. He really respects the people. He really respects his competitors. You never get a sense of arrogance from this guy, no matter how good he is. You know, I don't necessarily root for him to win every tournament. I've never been bummed about the fact that Simon won a tournament. It's always fun to watch him win.
Awesome. Well, that's good to go. That's good that they have a guy like that. All right.
If you actually scroll up to the top middle section there, when he's sitting on a table in red, this is him finding out that he wins the tournament. I think, like, this is the moment. You set the course record, make a chase card comeback, and become the Music City Open champion. And they got a couple pictures here, and that's his caddy, Nick Carl. And then that was the trophy at that tournament. That's a real Gibson guitar, probably $2,000-$3,000 of guitar. And Simon, by the way, is a good guitar player. In fact, when he got it there on the course, he was playing a little bit, and he goes, man, it's too bad you guys don't have an amp. I would play something right now.
Oh, that's awesome. Hey, I just want to say sorry that some of the technical issues on this show, totally my fault, had nothing to do with Brian. My notes were a fucking shit show. They were a disaster. We tried something new, going back and forth between the cards. I didn't get it spot on. Caleb and Brian did perfect.
My internet sucked. Sorry.
You did great. We do have another tournament. Go ahead.
You know, so I'm sorry we were a couple weeks late on this. I had some stuff going on that made it, you know, difficult for me to do that, but I did really want to get this one in. I do think that it is, you know, really, really important that Simon wins this tournament. It sets the precedent for the rest of the season. You know, you got Calvin Heimberg, you got Gannon Burr, and now you have Simon Lizotte. And I feel like these three guys are the guys that, coming into every tournament, you have to respect them as legitimate chances to win. There'll be other guys that emerge throughout the year, but at least those three are solid, you know, contenders in pretty much everything that they show up for. And, you know, like we talked about, the first major of the year ended actually today, and we'll be having a show on it in a couple of days. And we'll see.
Where was that? Where was the major that happened today?
Georgia.
Okay.
Yeah, they're in the little southeast swing right now.
Okay, not tomorrow night, but probably Wednesday night, I think is what we're shooting for.
Tuesday or Wednesday. Yeah, we'll see.
Oh, right. Tuesday or Wednesday. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Caleb. And we will see you guys tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Also on Tuesday morning, Rebecca Fuselier, the hyper charismatic. And then on what day is it? Wednesday? Thursday? No, Wednesday. And then on Wednesday, on the 26th, we have Chris Cooper coming to answer any questions. A 7 a.m. show. It'll be a live call-in show. If you are an affiliate owner, if you know any affiliate owners, that's going to be a good show to listen to. If you're interested in just business in general, the guy's a wealth of knowledge. He's also the owner of Two Brain Business, the largest gym consulting chain in the world. Okay.
And I think he still employs our former compatriot on the CrossFit
yeah,
podcast.
yeah. Mike Workington's a bigwig over there. Yep. It did one of the first few podcasts that Brian and I did together, shows we did together. Mike Workington was a part of them.
We did all of them, all the ones in Albany and all the ones in Del Mar.
All of them, he says.
He even did the one with me that you bailed on me for.
Oh, that's it makes him even cooler. Eric Utley, a good show. Back to installing my new Rogue wall mount weight rack. Oh, please send me pictures. That's cool. Seems a little late at night to be doing that, but okay. Bye-bye.